What's up, everyone? It's your girl Jaye Watts, artistically known as Letter J, and this is our first episode of Soul Proprietors. That's SOUL. Why? First off, we are highlighting people of color and their businesses. We're going to be discussing everything from food, beverages, tech, development, you name it. There's sole proprietors everywhere, and we're going to celebrate them right here, right now. It's live. Let's go. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Letter J, and I am here with one of the founders of BK Lobster. Ed, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
So I'm really excited because this is looking like heaven right now on this table. I'm looking at this incredible lobster roll. I want you to tell me more about it. We've got the lobster pasta. I'm excited to hear more. But I want to start with your journey. How did you get here? Where did this come from? What was the inspiration behind creating BK Lobster?
Inspirationally, I would definitely have to give that credit to my partner and our CEO, Rodney Bonds. Rodney called me and told me basically that his mind was blown because he had his first lobster roll, and I laughed about it because I've been eating lobster rolls for years, and we giggled about it. I kind of ribbed him a little bit and roasted him a little bit, and what ended up happening was he threw this concept out about opulence, and he showed me this gold logo. He kind of already had this thing pretty much materialized mentally, and once he said the word franchise to me, that was it. I was in.
I love that, because without a vision, right? So he sold you on this vision. And it's interesting when you think about franchises. What was it about it that appealed to you so much that you felt like would work well with this concept?
Rodney came up with an incredible concept where we could take something like lobster, which is a celebration food, and introduce it to a demographic that didn't necessarily grow up on it. It's not like Brooklyn is known for lobster. We're not in Maine, we're not in New England. But the thought was to take something like lobster, give it a soul food feel, add an experience to it, and make the home base for it coolest place in the world to live, coolest place in the world to be from, which is Brooklyn. And both of us being born and raised in Brooklyn, being from the hip hop generation, we basically took our background in the music industry, in real estate, in nightlife, and food and beverage. We put all that together, and again, BK Lobster's born.
Where was the first location?
Our first location was located at 535 Nostrand Avenue. That was our flagship location. We opened that one. Everybody thought we were crazy because we had a bunch of partners and people couldn't really figure out who was who. But we had already put together the vision of the franchise. So although we let everybody know that BK Lobster was a franchise, and that the ideology behind the entire thing was to franchise this model, people didn't get it at first. So we opened, beautiful location, beautiful aesthetic, and the feel was we want to party and have some lobster rolls, and that's pretty much what everybody took from the idea. 5 months later, COVID happened, and believe it or not, that's actually when people realized that this was bigger than a lobster roll restaurant.
So from the journey of this one location, knowing you wanted to walk into a franchise model, hitting a worldwide pandemic, and I think it's pretty accurate to say that you have had exponential growth in a very short amount of time. So 2 questions. One, how many locations are there, and where are we now?
Right now, we are at our BK Lobster Bushwick location, which is located at 1487 Broadway. Actually, very, very sentimental to me, personal. My grandfather actually owned a business directly across the street from where we're sitting right now, about 48 years ago. He owned an auto body shop, and when I growing up, my grandfather walked up and down Broadway with me, and I found this location. It coincidentally was right across the street, and I had to have it. We opened our first location, again, August 2019, and in 2 years and 4 months of a global pandemic, we now have 15 locations open and operating, and we have 26 locations in the pipeline in 8 different markets throughout the country.
Like Hercules. It just makes me feel so good to know that well thought out plans can be executed, that being attached to the culture and being disconnected to a concept equals success. And so what can we look forward to? I mean, more franchises, more like what happens now?
We're going to the moon.
Yes.
We're going to the moon with this thing. BK Lobster has invaded its first arena. We are in the Barclays Center, Brooklyn's first arena. We have BK Lobster Barclays Center. We are slated to open in Las Vegas, in the Raiders Stadium. We are going into the casinos in Connecticut, Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. We're looking at Atlantic City. We're in the negotiations for an Atlantic City location. We're talking to Madison Square Garden right now about opening a BK Lobster in Madison Square Garden. We're in Miami. We're in Baltimore. We're invading the South. We're in Charlotte. BK Lobster's gonna be everywhere.
Okay, so first of all, I'm in heaven because I love food, and I'm looking at this menu, and I'm really excited. But I'm more excited about what's in front of me, and I would love for you to tell me a little bit about what I'm about to stuff my face with right now.
Absolutely. So we have what we would call our Big Mac. We have our Bed-Stuy Biggie Roll, named affectionately after the greatest rapper of all time. Born and raised in Brooklyn, like myself and like this particular company. We have the Biggie Roll. Bed-Stuy Biggie Roll is a 4-ounce claw and knuckle lobster roll. It's drizzled in butter garlic sauce, and it's big, it's robust, it's extremely filling. It has a soulful flavor to it, which is what we wanted to do to separate ourselves from the other, restaurants and companies that service and serve lobster rolls. We also have the lobster pasta, which is my personal favorite. For our land lovers, those people that might not eat seafood or might not eat shellfish, we have what we call our strictly wings. And our wings section come in a bunch of different flavors and varieties. And what ends up happening is we have our wings with our signature honey barbecue sauce, and we have buffalo sauce, we have jerk sauce. So we also have, for people that don't eat shellfish, we have our salmon cakes, which are Southern style salmon cakes, and we also have our lobster cheddar biscuits. And the cheddar biscuits are full, filling, hearty, and extremely reasonably priced. So what I would tell any aspiring entrepreneur, any aspiring business owner is it's much harder to get anything done when you're doing it by yourself. BK Lobster prides itself on our partnership, networking, alliances, and again, when we started, everybody thought we were crazy because we opened one restaurant that had like 8 or 9 partners. But in doing that, it put us in a position to go through a global pandemic and have 15 restaurants open in less than 2 years.
Thank you so much, Ed, for taking time to, I think, really not just inspire, but highlight the power of partnership and how this vision can render something that's so empowering for culture, for connection. I think Brooklyn is lucky to be the first place to have you, and we look forward to enjoying BK Lobster around the world.
Thank you so much for coming, guys. Appreciate you guys very much.
I'm about to dive into this Biggie roll real quick. I'm gonna holler at you. Oh yeah. We good.